What would happen if the preliminary exams went differently? So, in an alternate universe where we come to the preliminary exams with the exact same squads, what would happen if the matchups went differently? So, as we can see, we had Yuro Akato and Sasuke Uchiha through to Choji Akimichi and Dosu Kinuta in the Naruto series. But what would happen in an alternate universe if the names were picked out differently? So I actually got a hat and I put all these names in and I picked them out one by one, and these are the results I got. So we got Dosu Kinuta against Shino Aburame, Zaku against Tamari, Rock Lee against Sasuke, Konkuro against Neji, Choji and Kiba, Gaara and Tenten, Naruto and Tsurugi, Kin and Ino, Sakura and Hinata, and last one Shikamaru and Yoroi. So let's just get straight into it. So if Dosu Kanita and Shino Aburame had a fight, I think what would happen is that, obviously Dosu using his contraction to try and amplify sound waves, he would try and use that against Shino, and what would happen is Shino would use his bug clones to try and like dodge it, and this is pretty much how the fight would go. So all Dosu has to do is land the blow on Shino, and it's all over. And I think Dosu pretty much wins this one because Shino's attacks are quite slow. He actually takes time to be able to use his bugs. So what he does is he puts a female bug on his opponent, and he has to try and wait for his bugs to do their magic. But in this fight, Dosu is way too fast for Shino to be able to do anything. Next is Zaku Abumi and Tamari. These are two very similar fighters because Zaku uses his airways to try and amplify his attacks, and Tamari just uses the wind. But Tamari takes the wind because wind pretty much takes care of manipulating sound waves. I know that sound waves are supposed to travel faster than the wind, but the wind can pretty much smash all these air particles towards Zaku, pretty much knocking him out, and Tamari takes the win. Rock Lee versus Sasuke. This is pretty much round two. Rock Lee destroyed Sasuke the first time they fought, and it'll go pretty much the same way, especially because Sasuke is injured. He can't use his Sharingan, so it's pretty much game over. Rock Lee takes the win. Next fight is Konkuro and Neji. Now this is a pretty interesting fight, but when you really look into it, there's not much Konkuro can do against Neji. Neji is just the supreme fighter. He's way too fast. Even if Konkuro, uses his puppet to try and get to Neji, Neji can pretty much just dodge those attacks, and he'll just finish off Konkuro pretty easily. Choji Akimichi and Kiba Inuzuka. Choji will pretty much just go straight into his meatball, trying to roll into Kiba, but as we've seen, Kiba has some serious speed. He will just be able to dodge all of Choji's attacks, wait for him to slow down, and strike at his weakest. Gaara and Tenten, this is pretty much a wrap. I mean, Gaara pretty much beats everyone else in this room, and that's no. Obviously he beats Tenten as well. What Tenten will do to try and get to Gaara, she'll use her twin riding dragons and throw all these weapons at him, but he'll just block him. Now, what's interesting is I'm not sure if Gaara would actually kill Tamari. I mean, Tenten, I don't think he would. He'd just use his stand to immobilize her, and then maybe Guy steps in to stop the fight. Next up is Naruto Uzumaki and Tsurugi Misumi. Naruto has shown to be a pretty incompetent ninja. Like, there's not really much he can do. Obviously, he can use shadow clones, but I think Tsurugi will be too fast for him to be able to use those hand signs, and he'll basically crush Naruto. Kintsuchi and Inu Yamanaka. This fight, obviously Ino managed to take Keen's body during the Forest of Death, but because Keen knows about Ino's abilities, it's not going to be any problem, and Keen will take her out using Genjutsu. Second last fight is Sakura and Haruno versus Hinata Hyuga. Now, people from the Hyuga, they're no joke. In hand-to-hand combat, you pretty much have no chance against them. So the only thing Saka really has in their arsenal is, to use clones and the substitution technique, but this isn't going to be very effective in this fight because Hinata's just way too fast, and she's basically going to take Sakura out using the Gentle Fist. The last fight is Shikamaru Nara and Yoro Akato. You know, this fight could really go either way. It just depends whether Shikamaru can get his shadow possession on Yoroi, but I kind of feel like Yoroi, he's such a dangerous opponent, and he's actually pretty fast. Like, it wasn't really apparent in the fight against Sasuke, but he's actually got some pretty serious speed. And I think what will happen is he'll dodge Shikamaru's shadows and just immobilize him, taking all his chakra. And that'll be a wrap. So yeah, that's about it.